Hello and welcome back to Lesson 2, Thursday the 29th of April 2020 for our reading and focus newspaper writing lesson. For our reading lesson, don't forget to keep a little journal of your reading. Go on to Epic reading activities. This is a PowerPoint on how to get on there if you haven't had a look. There are some great books on there, and obviously a lot of you are going on and reading because I sent through that Epic had just given us 100 points because a lot of people have been reading, and I think it came up that they've accessed 100 books and resources. Don't forget there's more than books there. There's read-alongs, there's videos, there's comics. Jump on and have a bit of a look. Okay, so today's the 30th, so the activity that you could choose from the calendar is read a book about Honest Abe. And of course, this is about Abraham Lincoln in America, who was one of their presidents, who brought about some very important legislation to do with slavery. Very interesting part of history in America, so have a look at that. The reading lesson that we're doing, of course, is to do with the peer pressure article about the boy who's dancing. And what I would like you to do is head up your page, and everybody will have to do this because there's nothing you can print out unless you print that screen. And it's week 2, Thursday, last day of April, and then we're well and truly into winter, 30th of April 2020. And of course, this is our reading lesson. And please make sure you put your name at the top so I can put it in your folders. And some of your folders are looking very cool with all your lessons and things that you are doing. So the task for Thursday is a writing task. And it says this comic explores the social issue of gender stereotypes. And of course, stereotypes is when you see or hear that somebody is a type of person and you immediately assume that therefore they must be like this. So for example, if I was walking down the street and I saw a really big guy and he had on a footy outfit and I thought, oh, I'll have to be careful of him because he's a bit rough and he might be a bit rude and swear at me, and he actually hops out of my way and says, excuse me, can I get past? And he's very well spoken and very polite. So that is a stereotype. Okay, so we've got to be really careful we don't form those about people. So the boy is told by his peers, who are his friends, that he should not dance due to his gender. Imagine you are the boy from the comic. Write a diary entry about the incident that happened at school while you were dancing. Be sure to explore how the character feels about gender stereotypes. So that's your little activity for today. Now, I also sent through, and you can pause me and do that now and then come back, but I also sent through a activity to do with newspaper writing. Hang on, I'll just track it down because I closed it just before. I'll just pause you for a sec while I find it. Oh, here it is. I've got it. Okay, so what you need to do here is I've included a little bit of a checklist. And actually, I might show you something else first before I show you that. And I'll pause you for a sec while I find it. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to show you, which I think really helps explain newspaper reporting and their structure, is another little knowledge organizer that I found. And when we go, I can send this to you if you want, but when we go back to school, I'll put this in a little booklet about newspaper writing and we'll discuss it further. But this explains what a newspaper report is. It also explains all the different types of newspaper reports and what is in a newspaper. And then it goes on to really explain what a headline is, what an opening, what a body and a summary is. And gives an example and labels it all up, the caption underneath, the adverts on it, the extra information at the bottom of the page, the extra subheadings. And then it talks about the language that is used, facts and opinions, past tense, emotive language, chronological order, first, next, then, after, direct and reported speech. So you could pause this now and just read through and take some notes if you want, but I will organise for you guys to get a copy of that when we go back. I think that's a very useful organiser. Okay, so the activity that we're going to do today, and I sent this through to you, this is a newspaper report writing checklist, and I've left a column over here because what you are going to do is where it says a catchy headline that grabs the attention of the reader, you're going to go below, read this article, and you're going to find the headline, and then you're going to write the headline up here and then tick this off. Then the next one is an opening that explains what happened, where and when it happened, who, how and why. So in your opening, you're just going to write opening underneath it and write that it's there. Then you're going to write what, where, when, who, how and why, and you're going to go through the details of the article and fill in those answers. Once you've done that, you can give it a tick. Then you're going to go into the body and find some facts for me. 2 to 3 will do, and just write facts and list them underneath in bullet points, and then you can tick them off. Then you're going to find a quote, and a quote is where the reporter has said that somebody related to the story has said something, and that is in inverted commas or speech marks. So you're going to go through and find a quote for me. There's one there, and you're just going to write quote, write what the quote is, and then tick it off. A closing sentence or paragraph that tells the reader what is happening now or next, so find one of those. Text that is written in the past tense, so find a sentence for me that is written in the past tense. And past tense usually have verbs that end in ed or an irregular verb where the verb is changed to fit into past tense. So for example, an example of an irregular verb is today I will draw a picture, yesterday I drew a picture. So it's where the word is actually changed to put it into past tense. And then does it have accurate spelling and punctuation? And as we know, advertisements and newspaper reports, written text is called copy. So I want you to go through, because quite often there are mistakes in newspaper reports, and I want you to see if you can find a mistake either with the spelling or with the punctuation. If you have this printed out, highlight it and circle it and then write it in, and if you haven't, just write it in. Now, of course, if you don't have this printed out, if you could just write in your book the date and that we're doing newspaper reports, and then just put in there a catchy headline, then write the headline. An opening that explains what, and list what, where, when, who, how and why downwards, and write that in very quickly. Get a couple of facts for me, put that in. So you write quotes, put the quote in. I think you get the general idea of what you need to do. So I'm not going to read through this for you now. This is a bit of a comprehension activity for you as well, and gives you a chance to really look over this newspaper article. So yesterday we looked at an online article, and this is an example of a newspaper article out of an actual newspaper. Okay, that's our lesson for today. Looking forward to seeing your work and what you come up with. Of course, if you haven't finished the spelling activity or the reading activity, please get that done first. But if you feel like getting 10 extra stars and doing a great job there and getting your newspaper report writing skills up for when we go back, please go ahead and do that for your 10 stars. Okay, thanks. See you in lesson 3.